Not enough people are aware that Netflix is a vessel for mass psychological warfare. The co-founder of Netflix, Mark Randolph, is the great-nephew of Edward Bernays. Edward Bernays is known as the father of propaganda, and Edward Bernays himself is the nephew of Sigmund Freud, who's known as the father of psychoanalysis. So Bernays took his understanding of Freudian psychology and applied it to mass communication and manipulation of the collective unconscious. He worked for both the CIA and the military in the realm of psychological operations. And in 1928, Bernays wrote a book titled Propaganda. 5 years prior, he wrote a book titled Crystallizing Public Opinion. The cherry on top, though, is Bernays' involvement with the Vatican. Cardinal Francis Spellman, the Archbishop of New York, sent Bernays to the Vatican to learn and study the Jesuits' methods of mental programming. This visit took place in 1957. The same year, the papal bull Miranda Porcis was issued, which publicly commands all Roman Catholics to seize as much control of media as possible, whether that be through television, movies, or news outlets. For a little more context on Jesuit involvement in programming through entertainment, the Hollywood Production Code was written by Jesuit priest Daniel Lord S.J., and the Jesuits have been producing theatrical work since the time of their inception, and even helped write the works of Shakespeare through Sir Toby Matthew, who was a close friend of Francis Bacon and the Rosicrucians. So we know these guys have an affinity for programming through media. Ignoring the connection between their founder and the father of propaganda, Edward Bernays, let's examine Netflix a little further. The wife of Mark Randolph and the former CEO of Netflix was Jesuit trained at 2 different private Jesuit institutions. Other Netflix executives are also Jesuit indoctrinated, while others like Suzanne Rice and Logan Jackson are Rhodes Scholars. The Cecil Rhodes Scholarship Program is to funnel the brightest young minds to Oxford and indoctrinate them into globalist alliance. It was stated by Cecil Rhodes at the time of his death in his will that he wanted to create a secret society that was modeled after the Jesuit order. Bill Clinton was a Rhodes Scholar. I'm going to make a video all about that. I actually posted one on another account that got taken down already. Most of you could probably pinpoint in your memory a show or a movie that you thought was a bit peculiar, programming to a degree, but the truth is 90% of them are. The most obvious being things like Leave the World Behind, Don't Look Up, Stranger Things, Marriage Story, The Two Popes, and even Big Mouth. And I'm sure you haven't forgotten about the movie that's borderline child entertainment, if you will. Cuties, it was called. That's my favorite one to go back and, rewatch, research for educational purposes. But yeah, Netflix, to no surprise for most of you, I'm sure, is a vessel of mass psychological manipulation, which is no different from the videos I'm making. Who can you trust these days?